Out there stretching back a week or so. I do apologize for being late on this one, but a lot of news has been dropping, and this one is a video that likely will.
All right, I'm gonna skip ahead because I don't want. But basically, what they're talking about here is the accusations, rebuttal video to Bad Boy Beaman channel, where he, puts forward some accusations of aimbot and wall hacks. Which I'm going to say right now is 100% founded. There is no way in God's green earth is Z-Laner not hacking. He is hacking, undoubtedly. I've been playing Call of Duty my entire life, and not once in a Warzone match or any battle royale have I walked out of there with 30 plus kills myself. Even if you were in the lamest lobby ever, people who have just purchased the game, true rank ones, you're gonna catch a stray bullet from somebody who doesn't know how to play the game just because you're reloading your weapon and you just killed 6 guys in a row. There's no way by yourself can you play a battle royale and just be balls out aggressive. It's no way.
Advise is lackluster evidence and what has been claimed to be manipulated clips. You lose a lot of credibility, and you should expect backlash.
No, all right. Now let's just talk about. I just want to talk about this news channel, right? This esports news shilling channel, right? These guys know that these players are hacking, but because they make money off of these organizations, because they get clout, they get spoken to, they get this swag sent in the back, they get a check. Okay, they get a check. They're claiming that this gentleman in the UK, Bad Boy Beaman, has got nothing better to do with his life than to accuse people in a game that he enjoys of manipulating it beyond the means that the developers meant for the player base to have access to. However that's happening, it's happening. Almost every game that I play in Diamond, in Platinum, even in the stray bronze match that I'll get when I'm playing with friends, there'll be somebody who is just magnificent and their stats don't really make sense, and it's because this is a free-to-play game. You can make as many accounts as you want, and nobody's really keeping track of this. The stat tracker is not even 100% accurate, so nobody's monitoring these things. It's appalling, but let's continue on here.
When you call out the best of the best, because there's a lot of talk in the town
the best of the best.
When it comes time for Warzone streamers and players who do cheat. Of course, the lack of an anti-cheat leads a lot of.
Here's a thing, right? If I'm a nerd and I have invested hundreds, thousands of dollars, tens of thousands of dollars on a setup to be good at a video game, and you still are garbage, right? And then you see somebody come up like a symphony, like who else? What is his name? Oh God. Why can't he used to play with the Doc? But even Dr. Disrespect, who I love. I watch Doc's stuff. Great guy. Even he has succumbed. Once in a while you'll see the Doc out of nowhere throw a 20 and call it, I'm sniping. And he plays all the time with Z-Laner. And I don't watch. The moment I see Z-Laner pop up, I'm like, it doesn't even matter. The guy's mopping up entire teams. He's not missing a bullet. Right now, they're going to explain how, frame by frame, that he's not cheating. He said this is an innocent flick, is what Z-Laner says.
A lot of people to think that people instantly are cheating, but the weird thing out there in thought process of some people that all of the top names are cheating together, and thus they're not going to rat out another top name that is cheating.
Symphony, Huskers. I forget what that little guy's name. Who used to play with the Doc all the time? Who's also just a horrible hacker. And if you get on a network, there's not very many. There's 5 or 6 companies that are undetectable hacks, completely undetectable. If you're paying a subscription fee, you're paying $50, $60 a month, USD, for these hacks, they let you know when you can and you cannot use them. Okay, whether they're working with somebody at Activision, who knows? I don't know. All I know is that these hacks exist and they're being used. If you can pay $50, have your system already, because you're a hobbyist computer gamer, right? You're a hobbyist PC player. Your PC is your life, right? Now for $60, you can turn around. You can enter a $100,000 tournament and walk away with the grand prize, not because you're good, not because your gear is set up perfectly, not because your internet or whatever the case may be is, because you are hacking. You are manipulating the software, you're manipulating the game to give you an advantage beyond your peers. There's no honor in that. This guy, unequivocally, without a doubt, if you're not cheating, if you're not a hacker, if you are purely skilled, you are never going to come up with a 3-piece video, 2-piece video, 2-3 hours long, whatever it is, trying to prove that you're not a hacker. And he never shows anything and says, man, he goes, I'm just lucky. I just have really good skills. Who knows? But this is innocent. I'm innocent. I'm not a hacker. You would not even address it. Why? Because you're a rock star. But when you're not a rock star, when you are lying to your community, when you are nothing more than a little dweeb who's sitting in front of a computer lying to thousands of people, that's all you got. And if you get caught, so what? And right now, because everything is online because of the pandemic, all tournaments are online across the board. There is no there's no fair play. There's no way to get a fair shake. If you live in a 5G area, if you have any kind of software, who knows? They can't come check your system. No, they're not sending officials to come check your system. They have wagers. They've built up an economy around this game, and with an economy comes corruption. And this corruption is at the very top. But let's continue.
Is ridiculous to me. And to think that all the top names would let another top name get away with cheating is also really weird to me. But some people, hey, I'm a weirdo. Some people think that weird way. Let's first talk about Z-Laner's response, though, to being accused and insinuated of cheating. I don't think Bad Boy would deny that throughout his video about Z-Laner. He directly insinuates that he is sketchy and that is potentially hacking or cheating. Z, in his first response, gives us a webcam.
That doesn't matter. Let's get to it, right? Z-Laner, he's going to say that Bad Boy Beaman is cutting frames. That he's cutting frames out to make the snap look more aggressive and more suspicious. But guess what, guys? We're capturing 4K 60. We're uploading 1080p at 60 FPS. That means you're leaving 60, 100, depending on what your system has got. Let's just call it 100 FPS you're leaving out of the table. You don't even see it. You don't even see it. So how are you going to tell me that Bad Boy Beaman is cutting out single frames to make him look more suspicious when you are not seeing the bulk, the majority of the frames? He is cheating. There is no way about it. He has accidentally exposed himself multiple times, snapping onto people through walls, just getting these impossible shots. There's no way. And this entire community is banding together. Why? For money to keep the entire community ignorant of what's really going on. I told the guy about cheats being available, a guy I used to play with. And yeah, hey, he's like, oh, what? I could get cheats? 2 weeks later, he was banned. Less below average player. Banned for cheating. It's that simple. That simple. You got a credit card, all of a sudden you're Z-laner. You put a few things together. Luckily, you play with some big names like the Doc. You put some numbers up. You carry. They're not going to say anything. Why? Because you're adding viewers. You're adding money to their pocket. And if you get caught, c'est la vie. We just don't play with you anymore, right? There is many streamers, many low-level streamers that are just waiting for these guys to mess up, to come up. There's guys who've been exposed that have 5 followers who are cheating and getting ecstatic and giddy over it. It is a huge, massive problem. And Activision is making $1 bazillion, like Dr. Disrespect, ego money. And what's happening? The competitive play is gone. It is completely fulfilled by Activision shills who may or may not be cheating, but who are not telling you the truth, because if they told you the truth, they don't get the check.
A hand cam shows his actual monitor and other gameplay as well. A nice 28 kill game, to which does not prove much, right? He just proves that legit he is a very talented player. It doesn't prove that he's not cheating, but that's
at the highest level of sport. Olympic athletes, right? There's maybe less than a 1% margin, 2% margin between bronze, silver, and gold. This little bitty. To have people who have 7, 8, 9 KDs, to have people who drop 30, who are 17 kills, and he does this on the regular. In a game where people could be randomly anywhere at any time. A battle royale is the survival of the fittest, not the guy who gets the most kills wins. That's not the object of the game. You could get 50 fucking kills. You don't win. You get killed by the rando who was picking his nose for 15 minutes, eating a taco, and you just so happen to cross his screen. Pow, you're dead. But not if you're hacking.
At least the first part of his response.
This is how fast YouTube is with Brave. Notice how there's no pre-roll ads? And here—
Oh, nice snipe, bro.
He's on controller.
I'm dead here. That's a guarantee.
So what? This is the telltale sign of a hacker. He has a camera on him, a camera on his hands, and a camera on his screen. He can have another little tiny screen there with his actual hacks that he's actually looking at. But no, he's created this elaborate setup to uphold this illusion that he's created, when anybody with a brain can see that what you are doing is impossible. Your level of accuracy, when I pick up a gun, when I pick up this AMAX, I have to burst fire it. Burst fire to keep it level. I got to come off the trigger, get back onto it, come off the trigger, get back onto it. I don't just hold it down. Z-Laner holds it down. Perfect accuracy. Flat as can be. Flat as a rail line. And he's on a controller. This is not mouse and keyboard. He's got pinpoint accuracy at odd angles, even moving your mouse, the cursor, at these certain flick angles. You would have to contort your body and do all kinds of things to really get that angle. You just want to make this kind of sign of the cross thing, and go diagonally. But to go this is really
nice little gameplay. 28 kills, 10k damage. Some very, very solid.
I think the most damage I've ever put out in a game, and that's using quick fire weapons. So that's using fast cyclic weapons like a MP7 and like the FFAR, or something that fires very fast like that. When you're fighting these team battles, you get a lot of guys down, and you get a lot of damage down very quickly, man. But 28, all you need is one team to have 2-3 guys in one doorway while you're pushing. You're dead. You are dead in less than 1 second. How? It's impossible. The numbers, from a military strategic point of view, from a survivalist point of view, you don't play like that. You wouldn't be expecting to put down those numbers. You would play very passively. Once you took command of an area, you would hold that area and everything close to it, because it's already yours. It's a safe space. You wouldn't expose your life. You wouldn't risk your single life on getting high kills. You wouldn't do it. So I get it, in the game you want to, flash and show off, but you're trying to get to the final circle. That's when it really gets spicy. Not this nonsense.
Some very, very solid plays with some nice beams out of the sky, some nice little team wipes. And yeah, you guys can see the entire gameplay. Monitor cam, hand cam, camera here, so you know I'm playing the game. And yeah, that's basically it, folks. And right before we leave,
that's basically it, folks. That's basically it. I'm not a psychologist, a clinical psychologist, right? But listen to the things that he says. He has Freudian slipped multiple times, calling his exquisite aim aimbot. I have not ever once, and I've landed some amazing shots that I'm like, no way. I'm like, Activision gave me that. Something about the skill-based matchmaking, something in their algorithm moved my cursor a little bit over, just shush that bullet over, because I'm like, there's no way I hit that guy. There's no way. But it'll say I hit him, and I shake my head like, wow, that was some shot, right? That's some movie magic or something. But not this guy. This guy is like, my aimbot did that. Oh, I mean, my aim assist. No. Fuck out of here.
Make sure we cross everything off the list.
See how upset he is about this?
Call of Duty is now closed.
You're playing on a separate computer. You have it up on a separate
And I would say the most important part of Z-Laner's response comes when he actually proves that bad boy Beaman and his accusation.
How can he prove? There's no proof. There's no third party sitting over Z-Laner's shoulder while he's playing video games, giving us a definitive answer or whether or not he's using. So how is it proof? Nobody has definitive proof. Bad boy Beaming does not have definitive proof. Z-Laner cannot definitively prove that he is not hacking unless they both set up computers at Activision headquarters and play the game. You don't know. You will never know. And I doubt Z-Laner would bring his hacks to Activision anyway, because he'd know he'd be caught. But I want to see something, right? He's not going nowhere. These friggin' hackers are not going nowhere. They've been around since before CSGO. Okay? That this hacking thing has been a huge problem. When you bring money into a game, into an ecosystem, you bring greed and corruption. It's synonymous.
Towards Z-Laner had manipulated at least one clip to make an aim lock look a bit snappier. What was claimed to be an aim lap, you guys should really check out Z-Laner's full video on this one.
Because he hasn't.
Because if you are going to accuse anyone of hacking or cheating and then cut frames on a clip, so it seems.
You are cutting and snapping together clips to make a point. You cannot just show somebody's entire video all the way through and say, this is my content. No, they're going to strike you. Okay, at least as far as I know. So you, as a consumer, as a player of this video game, right, you have to make your own decisions, right? You go on, you Google what the hacks are for this game, what they look like. There's plenty of videos online that show you what these hacks look like, right? Go to your favorite streamer and compare. At some point, you're going to catch somebody just looking through walls and just not making any sense, or just way too lucky, man. Sometimes the audio in this game, in Call of Duty Modern Warfare Warzone, is so bad that the sound coming from in front of you sounds like it's just in front of you, but it's like 150 meters away, but they sound like they're just in front of you, or 50 meters away, but they sound like they're in the house next door, but their house is three stores over. It just doesn't make sense. So to make all the right decisions to get you to a 28, 30, 40, 50 kill game, is you're more likely to win the lottery. Honest to God. Because the human mind is random. You got people who play this game to sit in a roof. They'll go in one building, they'll open up 2 boxes, and they will stay in that building. They won't move, they won't make any sounds until you run by, and they will eliminate you. And they'll kick and they'll laugh and they'll be all giddy. They'll move on to the very next building and do the same, rinse and repeat for 25 minutes. And I would drill a hole through my head playing like that. But there's some people that play like that. So it's unlikely, it's improbable, and it is not a natural way to go about a battle royale, where the key is survival, not dominating the entire map.
What Bad Boy claims was a glitch, which I don't really know what that means. What Zlander pretty blatantly proves is clip manipulation, cutting frames out of a clip to make a snap look all the more snappy.
And like I said, we already discussed, if you are playing this game and you have anything over 60 FPS, guess what you are not seeing? You are not seeing those in-between frames. If you have a system that is running, you're running a dual PC system, which means that you're running this game at 190, 200 FPS, but we, the consumer, are only seeing 60 or 30, depending on the compression, depending on how we're taking in the content. Are we taking in the content on PC? Are we taking in the content in on our phones? How are we taking in the content? What's the max refresh rate of the monitors that we're using? Every time you cut and slice a video, you compress, you're losing frames. I play at 140, 150, sometimes 160 FPS. Now, if I'm streaming, I got a single PC setup. I'm not a real streamer, right? But I do like to record my video game, and I do take this video game very seriously. And I'm getting 140 FPS. I'm recording right now, my camera 4K 60. Upload 4K 60. Everything is 4K 60. So you are missing half of the information regardless. So to say that this man is cutting 1 or 2 frames and that is making you look like a hacker, how do you account for the rest?
That, to me, you lose all credibility right there in any...
This esports channel has lost all credibility, period. They shill for the industry. He's got a smirk on his face now. They got these little kids talking about what? Nothing. They talk about drama. They talk... Look, what the hell is this? H4X. This shit looks like hacks to me.
Argument you have going forward if you are willing to do that kind of thing.
What you're going to see is you're going to see on the left-hand side, you see the hackuzation. This is Bad Boy Beaming's footage from his video. And then on the right side, you see my POV from my live stream. This was just from a live stream.
All right. Look at his demeanor. Look how nervous and anxious he is to make the point that he's not hacking. And it's why. Because he's tasted a little bit of money, and he's got a little bit of fame, and he doesn't want to lose it. I guarantee you, once all these big titles, all these big names, all these big streamers, once this pandemic is over and we're back to LAN parties, what do they say then when they're not getting 28 kills? Oh, everybody's a pro. Everybody's a pro. How do you expect me to play like that? We're going to play completely different. I'm getting 2, 3, 4 kills max. No, absolutely not. If you are the man, if you're flipping, getting 360 headshots while you're falling off the roof and still managing to open up your parachute and put on your gas mask as well, and somehow figuring out how to play it in midair, you're hacking, bro. Coming out.
You can go check it out on you can go check it out. Like, I have it all pre-recorded, all posted up, and he just goes back and watches his footage. On the left-hand side, on the bottom, what I want you to pay attention to, like I said before, pay attention to the Ian James. Pay attention to the name in my donation. Take a look at the name that's scrolling on my live overlays on my stream. Notice how
he is struggling to just speak because he is so absolutely nervous. He is seeing his life, the life that he could have had, crumbling before him, because it does not take an entire community. It takes a few people. There's a lot of people that know that this guy is hacking, but they don't have the time or the care to say anything. But I do.
It's a complete pause in the difference, and not just that. Obviously, the shot itself you can see is snappier. You can see where the frames were actually cut out, and the video isn't paused, anything like that. On the let's take a look. So you see the difference between the two, one being snappier than the other.
He's
way
on a
snappier.
Control. In order for a control to stop, once you initiate a movement with a control, you must return to point 0. That means you are taking twice the amount of time to make a movement as a person using a mouse, because they never have to return to 0. Once you stop the acceleration, once you are no longer moving, once you no longer have moved a distance, any more distance, I move 6 inches. That's it. Stop. With a controller, you have to hold 1 second, 2 seconds, let go. There, from the moment you are maxed out on your movement to returning to point 0 on the joy, that takes time. You don't flick, you don't snap. That would be hard pressed to do with a mouse and keyboard, because even I, as a mouse and keyboard player, would have disengaged the ADS to see exactly on the floor where the other opponent was, because as you can see from here, the gun is completely, the iron sights, the back of this gun are completely blocking your vision.
And now we're gonna take a look at that exact same clip, but slowed down. I'm going to do what he likes to do a lot with my footage and slow it down so we can really see here that this is 100%. You're going to see the actual stop on the left-hand side. You're going to see where the frames were cut. And on the right-hand side, you're going to just see the video continue to play because it was never, ever cut. And by the way, I'm not doing any video manipulation myself here. You can go and you can see this for yourself on his own YouTube channel. You can see, put them up side by side. There is a big difference, unless he deletes the video soon.
There's video feeds. You could go look where he's up with the doc and he's asking, oh, I don't know why these people think I'm hacking. The doc is completely avoiding the topic. And why is it so important to you? Is it because you don't want Activision putting a microscope on you? Is it because you truly are hacking, and the moment that Activision or anybody over there really looks at your numbers? Come on.
You know, we would hate to see that, but I mean, then that would obviously speak for itself. Let's take a look at the slowed version here. And pause. Boom. Instant flick.
Now, you are seeing that slowed down regardless. Remember, this is 144 frames. 144 frames. He's got 5 ms on his GPU, 7 ms. This is his latency. This is the latency coefficient. There's a mathematical equation you could do for that. GPU temperature, everything you could see here is latency is 58. You are seeing only half of the data. This is half as fast as you would have seen it. And I'm not saying that it's slowing down, but what I'm saying is that in order to make up for this, there's black frames being added so that you get to this 60 FPS, right? When they compress it down to upload to YouTube, right? Because nobody's uploading to YouTube 4K 120 FPS or 1080p 120 FPS. The maximum you get is 60 FPS 4K, 60 FPS 1080p, 60 FPS UHD. That's it. So you're not seeing the true speed, the true snappiness of that period.
This is in his video. Let's take a look at that exact same clip, and I'm going to show you the cherry on top of the cake, folks. This is fantastic. So we've already...
So let's just be real here for a second, right? This man's glasses are so thick. Are you telling me that because his glasses are this script, this magnification of powerful script, he could just see people out in the distance with no, no sights or anything, just straight iron sights, laser beaming people? He is a god of COD because he's just genetically gifted.
Established that there's some cutting going on here. I just wanted to make sure, I wanted to make certain that it just wasn't one of those times, those very rare times, at one of the worst possible times for it to happen, that would make me look extra suspicious that the clip just didn't lag itself. Let's just take a look and I'll show you why that isn't happening. So we notice the cut right here. Look at the Ian James. Boom. There's a cut. No pausing.
144, 168 FPS.
And this is the best part of it all, folks.
You're missing 100 frames in between.
Right here. Take a look at that. Did you just notice what I noticed? In the video that he has playing in the background, he has 3 parts. He has one part that is a real time where I just run in. Then he has a second part.
I don't know. And they just keep going.
This guy's also trying to attack the big names as a strategy to just be able to get more views. He'll put my name in his video.
If you're getting paid to be epic at this game, and it is the most hacked game to date, there's no anti-cheat on a free-to-play game. What do you think is going to happen when there's actually wagers, $1,000 wagers, $100 cups? The same thing happened in Fortnite, overrun by cheaters. And there was still an anti-hack in there. And they still caught people cheating. They still caught people cheating at LANs.
Videos will put Husker's names, Aiden's names.
Huskers is cheating.
All these people that
Aiden is cheating.
We know are not hacking. And he'll put them in his videos. And he obviously has...
That we know are not hacking. So they're a group. They know each other. They support each other. As long as the group stays together and know... It's the criminals. It's the same thing. If you were to commit a crime... with a squad, you rob a bank, you're Ocean's 13. If nobody talks or nobody squeals, they don't know nothing, right? Plausible deniability. When in doubt, deny, deny, deny.
Some kind of agenda here. He's making the clips shorter. He's making the clips lower quality.
Yeah, because who wants to see your whole gameplay?
Like you can't, it's just, you can't make this stuff up. This is ridiculous. And again, you'll see on this rock right up here, we don't really need to see this part where I just beam these guys. Now, we already know this guy is over here behind this rock near the gas, so I'm just holding this angle very nicely.
Dude, where's the recoil?
And yet again,
the recoil on this gun? Build this
for
gun.
a split second,
build this gun just like this.
You can see, and you can pause the video or do whatever you need if you need to, but you can see this guy's shadow. I can see the...
I couldn't see shit.